Warning, spoilers ahead. Welcome to the Operation STRIX podcast. I am your host, LaCroix. Joining me today is Roski Draftsman.
Hello.
Cool Blu-rays.
Hello.
Dancing Pineapples.
Hello.
And for the first time here with us today, RAF, the gentleman who actually did the subtitles for, or I should say the translations for the movie trailer a few months back. So welcome aboard, Raf.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, would you prefer I say RAF or RAF?
If RAF sounds faster, so
Okay.
might as well just go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, I am accommodating, whatever you want, buddy. But
Riff Raff. I don't know.
Riff Raff, no, we're not gonna call you Riff Raff.
Raph is also one of the moderators for the Spikes Family Wiki.
Yes,
that's correct.
yes. The probably the more important of the two,
True,
but
true.
that's how I knew you first was the translator. So, but thank you for
Yeah.
both of those things. You're really doing a service for the community. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
you
it.
really
my
are.
pleasure.
All right, so guys, we're here to talk about the latest chapter, or I should say, the chapter after the 2 or 3 chapters that we did not cover in the past month and a half.
God, right?
I mean, it's not like.
Nothing happened in those chapters. I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
not-
fair enough. I thought that there was small things that we could have talked about, but yeah, they didn't have any meat for conspiracy nuts. like
in-depth discussions. Yeah.
What happened in 104?
That's an excellent question.
Oh, that was the
That's
trip
the-
Damien and the Butlers
Yeah.
took.
Oh,
they go on a
okay,
jungle.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Damien and the
10
Butlers.
like just to briefly state, 105 was just a Frankie solo chapter. The one after that was Short Mission 14, and that was Anya, Becky, Martha, and Yor going to see a romance movie. And that was pretty much it.
Which is really cute. I love Girls' Day Out. Definitely
Girls
one.
Day Out.
Girls' Day
Girls'
Out.
Day Out.
When are we gonna have
Okay.
Boys' Day Out? Lloyd,
Never.
make
had
friends.
that in chapter 104.
Lloyd, make friends.
Yeah, we need to meet the boys.
Lloyd needs
not
to
just
go out
Damon
and
and
have
his
some
pals.
fun.
yeah, but that will require him to admit Frank is a friend, and he's
Yeah.
emotionally
Never happening.
constipated.
Never happening.
That's true.
One day.
One day. So yes, Girls' Day Out. I love to see it. Frankie, I love Frankie chapters. It's just like, yeah, not a lot happened. We could go into it, but honestly, I'm much more interested in talking about today's chapter 106, which is so crazy that like literally everybody forgot in the first couple of panels, like some lady was committing extermination by shooting bugs with a gun. And that was the least crazy thing that happened in this chapter. Like,
Well, I mean, it's a little weird because technically a lot happened, but nothing really like.
This is all I ever
I could
wanted.
almost quote
This is all I ever wanted to see the entire
like
family
the
together.
second half of the chapter. I can probably quote verbatim for how little dialogue there was.
but it was so much, like
Yeah.
so little, but
The
so much.
implication was thick.
Implication, just like theorizing, like what is going on with this family, because like nothing was said out loud, basically, but everything was just body language and
No, the
facial
silence
expressions.
was deafening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Literally.
It was. I mean, we can get into it.
Yeah, I mean, let's
but-
let's
Okay,
go
first off, the Desmonds, their estate, like, fuck them. What the fuck?
ridiculously large,
Ridiculously rich.
mansion.
And the crazy thing is, the Blackwells are supposed to be like the richest family, so what the fuck does their place look like?
They're one
Oh.
of the richest.
Oh, were they? I thought they were the richest.
They're Like
I
think
mean,
they throw it
are we
around more.
really gonna compare big as mansions? Because I've seen crazier in real life.
My mansion's bigger than your mansion.
Yeah, this
Oh.
is
I think
like
they're, like,
Elon
both-
Musk, Jeff Bezos kind of shit. We don't. Need
I
to
think
get
they're
into
like
that.
both probably the richest families.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, one's got like 1 million more than the others. Like, yeah, that matters in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm. Raph, since this is your first podcast with us, I'll go ahead and get your initial reactions from this chapter first. Like, what are you feeling on this chapter? Like, just in a broad sense, because yeah, there's a lot we could go into like specifically, but I think this is one of those chapters where we just kind of have to make like blanket statements about, because it was like, yeah, there wasn't like a whole lot of like actual dialogue. But yeah, I'm interested in what you think about it.
Oh boy, yeah, okay. Honestly, I was just like very gagged at this whole like Desmond family dinner. Like
Yeah.
I saw the little teaser like description that they had. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, just a Desmond thing, but I didn't think it'd be like this like depressing.
Yeah.
Like,
Depressing.
It's
um,
everything I wanted it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
we'll
was-
get
it's so
love,
tense.
I love how
so
messed up
tense. Yes. It's
yeah.
like they don't know. It's like, well, I mean,
they don't know
yeah,
how to talk to each other like a normal family.
they don't know how to be human beings.
They
Like,
don't. They're practically all strangers that just happen to live
Um,
together, basically.
and I blame Demetrius for like 90% of that. Like, if I had to eat food with Demetrius, I would probably be acting the same way. Like,
He's
good
like
God.
13. Chill.
He's like
No, I
11,
will not
maybe.
chill.
Like
Doesn't
I
excuse
was
it.
14 and I wasn't that awkward.
No.
Okay,
I-
that's a lie.
No.
Nobody was that awkward. I don't stare into space, not blinking while eating food in silence. Like,
Hey, he did shut his eyes a few times. Those were his long blinks, you know.
his long blinks.
he long blinks to conserve energy, so he can keep his eyes open longer.
You know, you
It's,
joke. I could see that happening. Like, this dude is a fucking robot.
You know what I imagine? Demetrius, he learned this from his dad. It's like some special studying technique. It's like, if I just keep my eyes open all the time, I can absorb more information.
Oh, all right.
Than
No,
losing half
that,
a millimeter of a second of blinking, millisecond,
Yeah.
whatever.
no,
So that's
that
the
we
theory.
talk about.
He saves like an hour every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, now that we talk about eyes, we also confirmed that squinting seems to be Donovan's favorite pastime, because that's the
What?
only thing that he did other than the
Just
most basic
stare.
of basic.
Stare.
Directly at like Melinda. the entire
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, like you can slightly see it, like in that panel, like
Yeah,
the
where his
multi-panel
eyes
sequence.
move like
Yeah,
Mhm.
you
a
can just see
centimeter.
they slightly move,
Yeah.
and like dead set on her. And I feel so bad for Melinda. Like she seems so terrified, barely
Yeah.
even touching her food.
What? What were you gonna say, Blue? Before I
I was just gonna make a joke. Do you think Endo has a special brush to dot his eyes perfectly so they're always like?
just beady little just orbs. Of...
I'm having way too much fun making fun of this.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm having a
Yeah.
great
Now that you bring up the squinting, I'm like, he squinted with Lloyd too. That like the exact same squint, and I wonder if that's him thinking, or if that's just him trying to be like intimidating, or maybe like both. I guess, but
Maybe
yeah,
it's the intimidation.
yeah, maybe he's
It
just like,
probably
I'm
is, I
watching you.
mean-
Maybe that's like, I'm watching you kind of thing. Like, I know what you're doing. Like, obviously he doesn't know Lloyd's a spy, or maybe he does. I don't know. But
That would be wild.
that would be wild.
That
I wouldn't
would
put it
be-
past him. I honestly wouldn't. But do you think Donovan like likes Melinda as a human being? Like, I'm not even...
You just opened Blue's favorite topic.
I'm gonna doubt that, because I like
I don't know.
I don't know though. Like there are many possible readings and none of them are good about the
Okay, well,
dynamics displayed here.
I'm trying to think. Is it a psychopath or they're sociopaths when you can't like relate to people or see them as like have
Psychopath.
empathy?
Well,
It's a
actually,
psychopath.
there's no like true distinction. It's kind of just like a social thing, but they're basically the same thing.
No,
Well,
psychopath
Isn't
is actually
psychopathy, like when
influenced
they
by
don't have any emotion or
neurology.
anything. Like
Yeah.
Neurotic. Yeah.
okay.
No. Like a psychopath is actually a sort of a neurological / medical condition where
Yeah.
you cannot like form the kind of empathy at a biological level. it doesn't of course it does not mean that psychopaths are inherently dangerous or evil, but that is something that happens. Whereas a sociopath is more like a behavior that develops about how you conduct with others. And
Yeah. Oh, so yeah.
so
Donovan
him
has
and
Asperger's.
Demetrius are just on a different plane of existence
yeah,
than the rest
like
of us.
they are.
They look zooted. It's
Yeah, they do.
Do you think?
Demetrius is
aliens.
so
Do you
zooted.
think
Yeah.
they're on drugs all the
No,
time?
literally. I was about to ask. Do you think that, like, or
Like
at least Donovan?
they take injections or something to keep
No,
their
I
eyes
just
like
mean
that?
like
Are we
Well,
going
could-
back to the lobotomy? Melinda is controlling Donovan.
I
theory?
don't know.
No,
no
I
I mean,
This
you
is
should
a
definitely
way.
toss
No,
that
I
out
do
the
think
window.
that this completely destroys that notion because she looks very, very scared of Donovan here.
Right.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
she
looks
looks
very
unnerved. She looks.
guilty of something. Like,
Could
oh
be.
I
shit,
know,
he's gonna
but
find
it
out.
but it
you
does
know?
look like, but she does look very vulnerable, very nervous, very. She is not in control here, like
No.
at all.
And it's interesting. I mean, I had brought it up too of like, all right, but Melinda needs to like fucking hug her son. Like, I don't care how traumatized she is, but like Damien's over here like mom, and it's like she doesn't even like look at him. She's just like, I don't want to be here right now. I don't even care about my kids right now. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like he's fucking 6 years old. But anyway,
Well, it's very clear from like what we've talked about before that Melinda must resent her kids because they keep her with Donovan.
good point. Good point.
So, I mean, sometimes that happens. I know that sometimes some people, unfortunately, when they're maybe in like an abusive relationship, they might resent their kids for looking like their abuser, or kind of acting like them for whatever reason, even though it's really not the kid's fault. So it's a shame, but I imagine that's kind of what Melinda is going through. If we are going to just assume at this point that it's probably some kind of abuse going on for Melinda to basically just drink wine, not even eat the meal or barely touch it, and say like one thing to Donovan, and he gives her a one word response, and then like makes a sound of acknowledgement towards Damien. Demetrius didn't even say shit during this dinner. I think he knew better than to do that.
I don't think he cares enough to say anything. He's not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, at this point he probably knows like, yep, this is just a forced, like we're putting on the charades, the act of being a family and eating a meal together, but it's really
if we think about the
not any
last
different,
chapter, like Demetrius's reveal chapter, this is probably, he thinks this is like super normal and this is his preferred method of eating dinner.
Yeah.
Like he would be unhappy if all of these people were talking.
I mean, it feels like this is not special. It's like he said different. It would be the same thing if he was just eating in a cafeteria or something.
Yeah,
like doesn't matter who he's with. He's like, I'm just gonna eat my food and focus on that and leave.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Damien and Melinda are barely able to like touch their food or have an appetite around Donovan.
Yeah, it's so interesting because it's like, I'm flipping through it right now, and it's I'm just trying to like gauge everybody's reactions because okay, Demetrius is fine. Demetrius is vibing in his own little weird vibe.
He's like dissociating super hard.
He's literally zooted out.
He's zooted.
Yep.
And Melinda is just like so reluctant to say anything. But it's so weird because like it's not like Donovan, except for that one panel when he's like squinting at her, he doesn't like give off like a weird vibe to her. She's just like, how was your day? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. And then like that's it.
I mean, acting like a what if Donovan's a robot? AU. I don't know.
We'll leave the theory crafting for later.
I meant theory.
Yeah.
I mean, we did have that robot guy from the Code White movie who was like part human, part robot, so like a cyborg.
Yeah, he was a
or
cyborg,
something. So I don't know what the fuck.
I know people hated him. I fucking love Type F. He's my
really.
I mean Type F was just. He just was.
I thought they'd love a
nice.
sexy monster robot guy.
You don't
provide something for you to fight and die.
He's fine.
Like that's all he does. So, like, it's hard to hate that. but it's very easy to not give a shit about that as well.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's just, I mean, we already know that Donovan doesn't think like a normal person because like at the end where he's just like he'll just randomly be like normal, like all of a sudden he is like, well, this was a worthwhile evening. He's like, Damien, be sure to chew your food properly, and just like walk away like nothing happened. And it's
I don't know
Right, like
if
he
that
didn't just
was
inflict
normalcy.
psychological damage on his entire family.
I'm not sure that was any attempt of normalcy. Like, I've seen people point out that these may be even some form of abuse on themselves.
manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation. Like, this is like imposing the idea that this is their normalcy. They are under his control, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like,
I got that vibe
the-
too.
this
Yeah.
motherfucker is just
Because
bleak.
yeah, Jeeves. You could tell because Jeeves knows what's up. We don't know what he knows, but like the entire time, like I look at some of the panels where he's like kind of in the background, and he's got that like sweating thing where he's just like, man, this is like not going well. And at the end, he's like, oh yeah, Damien, your father like was really happy to see you, blah blah. He's got that lying Lloyd face. He's got that stupid smile where he's just like, oh yeah, everything's fine, everything's great, don't even worry about it.
Hey, don't feel so bad, kid.
Yeah, and then
He
Donovan's
did it-
squinting again.
He
Right.
did the lying too when Damien called home and talked about like getting hit. Remember?
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, your father was
Jeeves
really
is the
worried about
father
you.
that stepped
Yeah,
up.
like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
God, I wonder how long this meal even took to have.
What?
Like,
No,
what,
because-
20 minutes? 30
I
minutes?
don't know. It was dragged out.
It was a formal dinner, so
Right.
at least
It
like
looked like
30
multiple
minutes.
courses. At
Yeah.
least they had an
True.
appetizer, they had an entree, and then I think Melinda and Demetrius left after the entree, but I guess Damien got dessert.
Now that I'm looking at it because we had said, some people had asked like, why are there plates set up for the others, and I was going to say, well, I had said because okay, like formal dinners, they usually set plates up for all of the chairs, but like only the people who are sitting there get actual food. But I'm looking at some of the chairs, and it's like there's food on some of those plates.
I thought those were just like extra side
I thought
dishes
those
or
were
something.
serving plates.
It might be
Like, because there's bread baskets. It looks like maybe like some kind of
Actually,
dipping
no, wait,
sauce
Pearl,
with some,
I'm looking at it
I don't know,
too,
chips or
and
something.
I don't know now.
yeah.
Hmm.
Because like at least the one like to the left of Donovan, there's one that's like it looks like it's picked at, but it's like far away from him, so I don't even think that's like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's weird.
It's
Also-
a weird dinner setup.
True.
I think
Yeah.
we're looking at that same dining table picture. It's like how all three of them, like Demetrius, Donovan, and Damien, are all eating, and Melinda hasn't even touched her food. And then when we go to that spread on the next page, they all have their utensils, and Melinda's just there with her wine.
Yeah.
Oh god, sauced up mom. Just like
I too would need wine to have dinner with Donovan.
Yeah,
Oh
she was like,
Especially
oh
like
god,
right
I'm
across
not
from
making
him where he's directly
this
staring at you.
sober.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need something
like,
stronger than that.
yeah,
I
you kinda need the fucking drink when you are dining with someone who stares into your soul.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. There's so much to talk about. Raph, is there any points that you want to talk about specifically, or like you have any thoughts on?
One thing that I did notice is that when they all finished eating, like you can notice like Demetrius has a sort of like like instruction, I guess. Like so after he's done, he like puts his thing together. Like he even like puts them like the utensils on the side, like cleans his mouth, and then he sits up straight. And then after that, like Donovan excuses him, like, and I find that so interesting. It's like they've done it before, or something like that.
Like he's trained him almost. Like
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
It will
he's
make
like-
sense.
he wants his little he strikes me as like a little Donovan, so maybe he was like, all right, this is my son, I'm going to make him in my image. And then Demetrius is just Donovan, like he's just a like little clone of him.
Or a literal
Yeah.
clone of him.
A literal clone of him.
Yeah, like
Possibly. Yeah, it's like, I mean, like you said, Roski, it's there's not much that was said, but it's just like, God, you just
There was
you
a
just
lot
want to know more about
happening.
the family.
There was
Exactly.
oh
well,
yeah,
That's exactly what I always wanted.
I like it. I knew that the dinner was gonna be awkward the first page, like but then like oh, they're not gonna say anything, are they?
Yeah.
Yep,
It
not
was
saying
kind of
anything. Yep,
yeah.
not saying anything, and then that 2-page spread hits.
Yeah.
It says the world like.
Mm-hmm. And like nobody's sitting next to each other. It's just a log, empty table on top of that. I mean, that the symbolism alone is strong.
Mhm.
But what struck me as odd was like Melinda was home as well, because
Oh my
I
God,
thought she was
I was
staying
just
at her
about
own
to bring
place.
that up. I was like, maybe she's like, I don't like. Yeah, she has her own place. Maybe she stays at the Desmond estate when Donovan isn't there, or maybe her private residence is on the Desmond estate, just not in the main house.
Fair point.
Fair point. It
But
would
we
make
don't know.
sense, but
I'm just like, God, she's like,
there's
She's so hot.
so
I'll save
there's
you,
so many
Melinda.
possible
I'll save
narrative
you.
means.
you said Melinda's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
no,
is, and
she-
she
I
wasn't
had to
so
get it out.
crazy. That's
She's
fine.
a total milf.
No, yeah,
She
I
is.
mean, it's like
I'll go there.
I can see it, but in this chapter, I just felt bad for her. Like, yeah, you don't look very good. I mean, your appearance looks good, but you look like you are about to cry or something.
Yeah, honestly, you know, I'm kind of surprised by how. I guess it's just interesting, you know, the difference between how outgoing and sociable she seems with like people outside of her family, but when she's around them, she completely shuts down and doesn't
Mhm.
say anything really, doesn't really not express herself.
Mhm.
It's very guarded, very like walking on eggshells,
Mhm.
and I understand that feeling
Oh yeah.
too well, you know.
Yeah. I'll give
Yeah.
you that. I think
Yeah.
we all do it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know-
in this case, it's
You know what? I want to ask you guys, like, what do you think? Because I'm thinking in my head, because I think we've talked about this before, where it's like this was before this chapter, and we kind of assumed that maybe Melinda was the big bad. And I'm not saying that she's not just because of this chapter. Like maybe like she resents Donovan so much that she's doing stuff in the background. I don't know. But anyway, the main point is that, like we said, Endo likes to subvert, expectations. And based on what I've seen at Donovan in this one, it could be interpreted that, okay, maybe he's like that smile at the end where he's like, okay, like I've asserted myself, everyone's afraid of me, I'm happy. But it might also be that, like, in his head, this is normal, and like he legitimately loves his family.
Wow.
That's even worse. That is the worst thing you could have said today.
No, like literally,
I don't
but he
know.
doesn't understand how just like messed up he seems to everybody else, and like because he said he doesn't understand people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't love his family. But like he doesn't know how to express himself or even tell his family that he loves them, because at the end he's just like he's got that stupid happy face where he's just like, yeah, everything was great. I had dinner with my family, and
But he
nothing
did
was.
squint. That kind of indicates
Yeah,
to
he
me
did
that
squint at the end.
he was just kind of checking in on the family. Maybe
Psychologically
you know,
terrorizing
he is
them.
paranoid. We know that much. He has like bodyguards with him at all times whenever he like leaves. So he seems very paranoid, and he's been squinting. We assume it's been at Melinda, but it might have been at like all of them, to be fair.
Oh, definitely all of them.
But
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they're all in that
seems-
panel.
But it does seem like, I don't know. It's complicated because like I get the feeling that Endo isn't going to just throw in abusive, terrible, like, this man doesn't care an ounce for his family. I don't think that's exactly what Endo is going for. I think there is like a twisted care for his family, but it's coming off completely the wrong way. It's not very healthy.
Oh yeah, no,
But,
I'm not
like,
saying he's innocent, but
yeah, like, maybe some of it is like he has unintentionally built up this feeling of fear with his family,
it's like,
and doesn't know how to, like, well, he doesn't even maybe realize how bad it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like how there's this element in abusive relationships where the sense of entitlement grows for a very misplaced sense of attachment. Like,
okay.
I don't know. I think that you were going for an like that. Well, it's not necessarily like he is overly, or maybe he's, because some of these behaviors are red flags with neon signs pointing to them. But I don't know, that the idea that there is a warped sense of normalcy for someone that might trigger a war. I don't know. There's a lot here, and
yeah. And
the complicated thing is that, okay, the very few things that we know for certain is that these people, despite being blood related, they are not close to each other emotionally. They are pretty separate, very distant, very sheltered. They do not understand each other. They do not communicate with each other.
Yeah.
But the details about the why are someone said that it could fire in so many directions, and and that's a complicated part, because if it goes in one direction, it will have very, I don't know, it could go in, none of them good, but it could go in so many directions, and some of them feel like, oh, this is interesting, oh, this is fucked up. Like, I wasn't even thinking about the Demetrius is a literal clone, but when someone mentioned it, like, that will be close to my level of fucked up, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah. I love you, Roski. I don't think Endo's gonna go that far with anything.
No, I know.
At least not with Spike's family.
I will be surprised if he did. That will.
Thankfully, he's not Fujimoto, because Fujimoto would
no,
go there.
Fujimoto totally would. No, he has
Fujimoto
gone
would
that
be
far.
like, let's
in
make this
Fire Punch.
as horrible as I can.
Like, he has gone that far in Fire Punch, and oof.
No. Yeah. Raph, I want your opinion on, like, Donovan. Like, what do you think? What do you think about, like, him in terms of, is he outright, like, going for abuse of his family, or do you think he's, like, I don't know, like, do you think he's not? Like, I don't know.
I honestly am, like, stumped when it comes to Donovan. Like, just like Lloyd, I have no idea what's going on with this dude. Like, it's hard to get a read on this guy. Like, and, like, with his family, like, I can see, like, the points where, like, maybe he does have, like, a warped sense of, like, familial love towards him. But I just can't put my finger on it. Honestly, if this guy's, like, just a mind reader and he's just, like, spending the whole dinner just trying to read your mind, I would believe it.
And see, that's what I was kind of thinking too. Like, maybe not even, like, in a literal sense of him reading their minds, but, like, you know, going back to him not being able to understand people. Like, I think, like, when he squints, or like, this is just a theory, but, like, when he squints, that's, like, him, like, really trying to rack his brain around, like, okay, what are they thinking? Like, you know, like, because I don't think he's, like, completely oblivious to the fact where they're, like, making, like, discomforting faces. So maybe he's like, like, maybe the food's off or something like that. Like, it's not me, like, it's something else.
I don't know. Like, worst case scenario, he's like Vidal from Pan's Labyrinth. But
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I like the idea. I don't know. I just like the idea of Donovan just being so out of touch with humanity in general, because he's always been like that. He's always, since he was a kid, he hasn't understood people, which blows my mind of how he has a wife and kids. I was like, how the fuck did that happen?
No, but it's not just how, it's why. That is, I mean, because yeah, I get it. Like they are in a very conformist normative society where you're expected to have a certain role, be married, have children, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
serve the nation, blah 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 blah. Otherwise, you're a spy and all that bullshit.
Mhm.
But I don't know. The question, like again, lies what? Because I doubt that is the only purpose for him having a family. Why did he choose to form a family? Again, like one of the worst case scenarios that will still be in the realm of possibility without getting to Fujimoto will be again Commander Vidal from Pan's Labyrinth. Do you remember that character?
I vaguely, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, the commander, the main antagonist of the movie, that he had a wife only to have a child, and the idea is that he saw that child like a sort of continuation of his legacy. He felt entitled to a heir, and it was more not because of the child. It was because it was an extension of him. It was an extension of his continuity, of his perpetuity.
Okay.
So he's this obsessive, controlling guy that doesn't bat an eye after brutally murdering people.
Yeah.
Because he thinks they stepped out of line.
Yeah, it's possible, because if you think back to when we were first introduced to Demetrius, and I forgot who it mentioned it, but they were like, "Oh, Dad used to like tutor Demetrius himself and was like always there with him, and he's not anywhere in Damien's life." So, and we already know that Demetrius is a spitting image of Donovan, so like it might be that where like, okay, his first son, he's like, okay, this is my legacy, I gotta make sure that he carries on my family name, and is like, okay, with him 24/7. Second kid comes along, maybe Damien was not planned, and he was just like, well, I already got one son and I already achieved what I needed to achieve, so like I don't need to spend any time with him. So
yeah,
I could see it happening.
Yeah,
I mean, I could see that, but at the same time, I feel that like if Donovan did feel like Damien had nothing to like offer like that, I would imagine like he wouldn't even talk to Damien. Or really acknowledge him. Like
I mean, he really doesn't. I mean,
I mean, true, but I'm saying like he's also like that with Demetrius even now. So I kind of wonder. Like,
I mean, the most he has done is, kid, chew your food.
Yeah.
Father of the year, everyone.
With a smile on his face, though.
Going back to that panel that you mentioned, Crow, didn't we talk about how in like that flashback that's not really a flashback where Donovan is sitting with Demetrius, he doesn't have his lobotomy scars?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we can presume that was like many years ago.
Yeah. Or something happened.
Yeah, and also we have to think about Austania's history, because the war probably ended around the time where probably when Demetrius was like alive, but Damien hadn't been born yet.
Right.
So I feel like, I'm not saying like, oh, this is like why Donovan never spent any time with Damien, but I think that like there were things when Damien was born that made Donovan be like, yeah, I can't spend time with this kid right now.
Yeah, it might be that his distance came more after the fact. Like maybe he was accommodating to Demetrius, but like you said, the scars happened. Obviously, something traumatic happened.
The lobotomy.
Maybe a lobotomy. Maybe he got injured during the war because he is a war hero. So, maybe after that he was just like, I don't know. I mean, because it's weird too, because with even thinking about that, like we saw him as a kid, and him as a kid is basically him right now. So
yeah, he's. I mean,
Just love that
other
little
than
spark
the
in his eye.
Nobita bowl cut.
yeah, the dead look in his eyes, just the exuberant youth is gone from Donovan's eyes, although he
Yeah.
never had it.
I mean, he looks younger. He just always looked like a zombie. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he's just. I mean, he is the enigma, and it's crazy that we're seeing more of him now.
Oh,
just
it's
like-
gotta mean something.
I mean, we had to see something about him eventually.
I mean, if he's supposed to be the baddie, then
But
yeah.
I mean, but the awkward thing is that he just keeps raising questions. It's like,
he's the fucking
Can
boogeyman.
yeah, can you read your minds? Metaphorically, literally, are you a robot? Are you a zombie? Are you just that fucked up in the head from birth?
All of the above.
Yeah, it's like, how do you think? Because all I see is that you like to squint, and that tells me nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like okay, we'll go down. I want to get everyone's opinion. So you already know mine. I think my working theory right now is that Donovan is just doesn't know how to relate to other people, but he does love his family in a weird way.
Right. Which is a very generous and surprising take from you.
I think
Who
'cause
believes
it was
in the
just-
power of love?
Not okay, maybe not like outright love. Like clearly, he's like
Well,
doesn't relate to anybody, and he doesn't
I
have
think
that
it's like-
connection.
Maybe not like love, but he loves them like how you love your things.
He's fond
Like,
of them.
Love
Like
your
you-
things.
like
oh,
you
yeah,
love your
there's
pets.
a
Oh
possessiveness.
God!
Oh, no,
I'm
not the
glad you brought that
pets.
up. I'm glad you brought that up. Like
Are we-
Invincible.
I
he's-
knew you were gonna bring that up.
Oh,
yeah.
Omni Man, she's more like a pet.
Oh God!
Ugh.
It's so fucked
Yeah.
up, but it's kind of.
I
It
haven't
kind of
even
works.
I haven't even finished season 2, but I know there's like an audio clip of him going like he thinks he misses his wife or whatever. So I'm like, oh, so she wasn't just a pet motherfucker.
Yeah.
No,
or whatever.
Yeah, there. I mean, Optimus.
I miss my
character
dog.
arc-
So like,
I mean, Optimus' character arc goes into very interesting places from season 1 to what is gonna come next.
yeah, but that's just like an
But-
example, I guess.
but
But
yeah,
that's
I
that's
get
a
it.
pretty good example, Pines. Like, yeah, and like he's fond of his family, but like I said, I don't because going back to Lloyd, where Lloyd is trying to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, my daughter hit your son, and
Like,
Donovan's just like,
it's
no,
no
it's okay.
Oh, no
Like-
problemo. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of like it's not necessarily like a crazy take because like I feel like most parents like if their 6-year-old got into a fight, as long as nobody like got seriously hurt, they're like, look, kids are stupid. It's gonna happen. Like, don't worry about it too much. But like,
It
what
would
I mean?
it would actually be kind of funny if like Donovan was like, you know what, my son kind of deserved it because he made fun of your daughter for no reason. So that's on him.
I mean, that would actually be good parenting in a sense. So like,
In a
don't know.
sense, yeah, which would be very surprising if he actually like, wow, he actually kind of cared enough to like let him deal with consequences instead of like getting upset, like, how dare your daughter touch my son?
Yeah. It's a
He
very
did nothing
grounded
wrong.
response. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting interpretation. I've never thought of it that way until like this point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I always took it as that. Like,
Oh, interesting. I did
Yeah.
not. I
Yeah,
just thought like,
but,
oh wow,
I
he doesn't
mean,
give a shit.
It sounds like that at first, like, oh yeah, they are kids, they're gonna do dumb stuff. But then he insists, and there's something up.
I don't know. It might also just because like, it might be like the older child syndrome where he's just like he thinks Demetrius has his shit together, but like maybe he's trying to toughen Damien up. Like
Some tough love kind of thing.
yeah, we don't know what Donovan's
Oh.
upbringing was, and it was during the war.
That's true. That's true.
So like,
I was actually gonna say I find it interesting that with the rumors of Donovan wanting to start a war, I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't tried like putting his sons into military school of some kind. But then again, I mean, Bill Watkins is at Eden, and his father's like a fucking general. So
no,
what do I know?
I'm gonna suspect there's military education in Eden. at some
Right.
level.
I know there
Yeah.
was back when Henderson was a student and like he refused to join conscription or something, so like that was a whole issue.
Well, I would imagine because Donovan's an alumni, and also it's already the most prestigious school in the country. So
Right.
I mean, there. We already know they're like ultra uh, uh, conservative and all of that. So like, I would imagine this would be like one of the top schools, like not necessarily like military wise, but like all of the elites are there. And if Damien's gonna be like, if Donovan wanted him to be like a general or something like that, he'd probably go to Eden.
True. I mean, all the connections would be there. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it could go either way. It could be Donovan wanting his sons to join the military. It could also be he's like, no, in his head he's like, education, not necessarily that like military is bad or anything like that, but maybe like I said, he wants to continue the legacy with Demetrius and become a politician or something like that. You know what I mean?
True. He'd probably want his sons to like lead the soldiers, not be one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and see that might also be misplaced like.
Like
tough
care,
love or,
yeah, or like, see, kids, even though I'm starting a war, I don't want you to be death fodder, whatever, or cannon fodder, whatever that term is. So it's like, you're when this war happens, you'll be in positions of power. I'm making sure that you're not going to get killed off,
right?
But screw everyone else.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I could see it. So
yeah, in his own psychopathic way,
that's
he's
what
like,
I'm
yeah.
saying. He's a crazy father who cares.
It's like what Pines was saying, or somebody was saying, like it's like he just cares about his items. So he's like, I got to make sure I keep my things safe.
True. There you go. That's a good way of seeing it, and I could totally see it happening.
Yeah, I could see it too. Honestly, yeah.
Damn, guys, we talked about 40 minutes for a chapter that barely said anything.
There were no.
I mean,
like
I'm
zero
always
words.
a sucker for visual storytelling.
Oh yeah, it was very well done. I was unnerved the entire time.
Yeah, you just know, like it's like the entire point was that it was silent, but it's that growing tension and distance that keeps building up. The more the dinner goes, the more apart they look, and like that is excellent. Well,
yeah,
I'm down for that kind of thing because my background, like, if you could say, like, I fucking love it. But
all right,
I don't know.
So like, where do you guys think it goes from here? Raph,
I don't know.
What kind of chapter do you want to see after this? Do you want more continuation of the Desmonds, or?
I don't think there's gonna be a continuation, but I think that this looks like it's important enough that Damon is gonna be more prevalent and not just as a foil to Anya. Like we are gonna learn more about this kid, and it's gonna be alright.
Yeah, Raph, what do you think? What do you feeling for the next chapter?
I'd like to see more Damien probably, but I don't want to keep seeing this kid being so sad all the time. So maybe like go back to the Forgers.
That's fine. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, like I want to see Damien with the Forgers. Like I don't know, just kind of like
make a nice contrast.
Yeah.
Like, it would be nice.
Like have him sit at the table with them or something. I don't know.
There's like everyone literally wants Damien going to dinner at the Forgers now.
Yeah,
like they all demand.
But
I mean, Lloyd wants it. Lloyd wants to fucking get his foot in. Like,
That's
no,
true.
but yeah, if that happens, or arguably when that happens, it's gonna be a turning point for Damien because he's gonna realize why isn't my family like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like. Well, it wouldn't be surprising if he already thinks along those lines, but it will hammer the point. It will completely hammer the point in like these. He isn't as contemptuous as Anya as before, but it will really drive home how wrong the situation is that this strange low class girl has the happiness he doesn't have because her parents are actually, there for her, and his parents that are technically at the top of the world aren't. Like,
Well, he kind of already came to that conclusion at the dance because he was just like, "You must really love your dad," and like,
Yeah.
he knows. Like, he already knows. It's
But
just
yeah,
a matter
but
of acknowledging it, I
no,
guess.
yeah,
Which is
but
what you're saying, yeah.
but
Yeah,
but
and,
when
like,
you feel
accepting.
with it, but when but there's one thing knowing, and there's another living it, because he will have the warmth that he hasn't had,
True.
and
Yeah,
that
if he goes to
will
the Forgers.
yeah, and that will just there's no going back when you experience something like that
Mhm.
that you haven't had your entire life.
Ah, that'd be so sad. I want it, but I don't want it. Ugh.
I mean, it will be juicy drama.
Yeah. Blue, what do you want? What do you want from the next chapter? Do you want Damien focus, or do you want like Melinda, or like?
I kind of want. Okay, I'm just being super self-indulgent, but I would love if we got a chapter from Donovan, like a solo Donovan chapter.
Oh,
I want to see where the fuck he's going, what the fuck he's planning,
A day
or
in the
something
Yes.
with that. Please, God, we need some kind of plot relevance here.
We need something. We need something to move the plot forward.
Seriously,
sure.
like, when is Lloyd ever gonna get close enough to Donovan to go to the guy's fucking house?
no, yeah, that will be a setup for something really important when we see that. But
I feel like
I would absolutely kill to see something like that, because, like I said, I want to know how this guy thinks. He is.
Oh yeah. I mean, we all do.
Like, no, because at this point, it's not just like he doesn't fucking talk. It's like his presence changes the atmosphere wherever he is, around anyone he is around. Like,
Yeah, I know people like that.
yeah, but
Just sucks the life out of the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Pines, what do you what you got? What you thinking? Where's the tinfoil?
my tinfoil, I've had it.
Is
out
it in dry cleaning
all-
or something?
No, my tinfoil has been sitting right next to me this entire time. I mean, again, I don't know what Endo is cooking. I honestly, I like Raph said, I don't want to see Damien sad anymore. Honestly, Damien and the boys should go on like a spa day or something.
Get Manny Patties.
Yeah.
Manny Patties?
Manny Patties.
yeah,
Is that
I mean,
manlier?
No, it's exactly what it is.
But
It involves burgers or steaks.
I don't know why, but I feel like this is gonna
You
tie
eat
back
them
to what Anya told Damien at the party. Like
Yeah.
how she said that I can read minds. I don't know why I feel like that this is a setup for this to come back into play. Because
Yeah.
after that, we just kind of swerved into
Slurp.
Menderson land.
Menderson land?
Menderson.
I'm sorry,
that's what
I
we're
didn't
calling
pay
it.
attention.
Menderson.
What's the ship name, guys?
We're shipping
Partha? I don't know.
Partha.
oh, shit names are always so awkward.
Menry?
I don't like Mendry either.
Yeah.
I don't know any good ones. I'm sorry.
I feel like I
Yeah,
saw a good
it's a
one,
fun-
but
Maybe something cute like, I don't know, T buddies. or
Harriet.
something. Harriet.
What?
Yeah.
Can
It's-
they-
her last name's Marriott, right?
yeah.
Oh,
Harriet,
okay.
Harriet.
Or Harriet.
I thought you were about to say Harley. I was like, whoa, there.
Harriet.
What the
okay.
fuck?
I don't know about that.
No,
no,
it
yeah.
just sounds
a little
similar.
awkward.
I think maybe it could tie back to that. Because also, how freaking long is this winter vacation? These kids need to go back to school.
For real.
No,
Like,
because remember, there's so much
maybe.
waiting
summer
for us.
vacation.
No,
So,
it is summer.
but
No,
About a
it's
week.
not summer vacation. It's winter vacation.
Yeah, we already discussed this.
still,
In America, it's like a
still,
week
it's
and a
an- it's
half. or
enough
something.
time.
Yeah,
to have-
that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
well, okay.
Well, they are
Some
rich
places
kids, I
have
don't
like
know.
a month, like for holidays and stuff. But I'm like, I want us to go back because the classes are gonna change. We still have all of that set up from the dance,
Uh-huh.
and also like, can we also just get some more Forger family moments in
We need some
here?
fucking Forger family moments. We need more seals.
Well,
Give
yeah.
us more baby seals.
For real.
Oh.
Neil McBeal the same Navy SEAL. No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is like I almost want Blue to make a prediction because at this point she keeps being hit with the ball of prophecy by Apollo.
I
Like
mean,
that
I
meme.
already said my self-indulgent take, but if I were to make a prediction, I want to say considering everything that's happened so far with the, I guess, mini missions and then the actual series chapter, like, let me just take a quick look at what our latest chapters were. So I
Yeah.
remember we had the seal thing where we kind of found out it might have been an Apple project experiment potentially. And then we had the travel thing with Damien and the Butlers, Frankie short mission movie, and now the Desmond family dinner. If I had to make a prediction, I want to say that maybe there's something coming up with the school and Lloyd and Yor get involved as like chaperones or something. Like, I don't know, another field trip, another project, but this time Melinda actually has to get involved. Maybe it's like a requirement for parents to do that. Or like it's maybe there's like a family tree project or something, and Damien has to go like get all the history on the Desmond family, and Anya has to like come up with a fake family tree, and Lloyd's got to come up with fake ancestors.
Oh, that would be
that's such a good idea. Wait a minute.
That would be hilarious. Yeah.
Right? I actually would love that. And Lloyd's like, oh fuck, I gotta come up with like an entire fake family tree.
Yeah.
God damn it. And then yours like, oh, should I
mean,
My
add
great
my
uncle,
family?
Happy Forager.
And then it could actually be kind of sweet and sad of yours. Like, could I add my family, like my parents and stuff? And Lloyd's like, yeah, of course you can.
Oh, we get your backstory.
Yeah, that's how we get. What if we got your backstory that way?
Yeah.
And yours like talking about, oh, these were my parents were like, I think they would have loved you, Anya. Blah blah blah.
Oh god, and we get crying Yor, and then Anya's crying, and then Lloyd starts tearing up.
So maybe like your maybe we're finally gonna get your backstory or garden stuff. Finally.
God, we're coping so hard.
I was gonna say I love that. We're like, yes,
Praying for anything.
Desmond's insane wide-eyed bug lobotomy scar guy. Garden arc.
Your backstory win.
I'm just looking to grasp at any straws I can get my
I've been
hands
grasping. There's no more straws left. I've taken
Yeah.
all of them.
Grasping, baby.
We grasping.
We grasping.
Yeah, one little side note that I want to add. It's like super off tangent, but like I was looking at like Max, like Damien's dog. Like
Oh,
he looks
yeah,
so
it's like-
different.
he's got the
Like, I'll send the
creepy eyes,
pictures
too.
in the I'll send the picture in the Discord chat, but like she was like him in the anime.
He looks derpy. Like very, very
yeah,
derpy.
like I'm guessing he like changed his fur color, but he looks so different.
I mean,
He's got Donovan eyes.
No.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
creeped me out.
No, but I think. I mean, it's obvious he got a makeover, so
Yeah.
he looks more distinct. from
I
Emma.
actually like it. He looks so derpy in this.
He
Like,
looks
yeah,
like
he's a good
I mean, he
boy.
looks like their family dog.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Yeah,
which one's
like,
yours? Like
he
it's
really
the one
takes
with
from the
my
family.
father's eyes for some reason.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Little
in
derpy
the
boy.
case of this dog, he also looks like there's no thoughts behind. Like,
I love it.
like unlike
He's just a good
Donovan,
boy.
he actually looks endearing. Like he looks
Yeah.
like a
At least
very
he's a
big
good
dumb
boy
dog.
and loves Damien. That's all I really
Thank
needed.
God Damien has a dog. I love
At least he
that.
has
Pushes
somebody
him
in
into
the
the
family.
pond.
Who cares?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah. Max is like, damn, I almost got him this time.
Yeah, he.
Victory.
Oh
was mine.
yeah, he has the dog and the not that that also gives him a ride. Like, oh,
The
God.
not dad.
Not dad. Love you, not dad.
He's literally the father who stepped up.
Yeah, that's actually.
Max
I mean that is.
No, I meant G.
Oh, I thought you said Max.
Could you imagine a dog dad?
Dog
I
dad. That's a
I
fan
thought
fiction
she was
if I ever
talking
heard
about
one.
Jeeves.
Oh god. Snort. That's funny. Oh god.
I never used to snort. I don't know why I developed
I started
that.
snorting too, and I was like, "Am I just getting old? Like, do old people snort?" And I was like, "Whatever."
Yeah, maybe because I'm just trying to catch my breath, and suddenly my nose is.
Wow, I think maybe we're just getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we
Maybe
are.
we're just unhinged, and yeah, this is what
That's
it takes.
true. That's true.
Yeah, it gives and takes years of our lives.
Yeah, this does literally 4 years later, and we're only at chapter what 106.
That's a
mean,
sobering reality.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
All
I
right.
mean, it's still faster than Komi-san.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have the patience. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna have to wrap this up. I got some places to be and things to do, so I think we had a wonderful conversation, guys. Definitely enjoyed this chapter. Raph, thank you so much for joining us, man. Feel free to hop in whenever you want. I know Sid couldn't be here, but thank you for filling in for her shoes. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I'll come whenever I have time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'd be
Alright.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for putting up with our unhingedness. Although we were pretty tame this podcast. I'm really
I
proud
think
of
we
us.
were actually pretty well thought out and
Look at us.
actually
We took
stayed on topic.
yeah, we took our caffeine today. We drank our juice.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Look at
well,
us actually being good at our job.
Yeah, we're getting there. It only took us
Yeah.
what 2.5 years.
Yeah.
All right.
We
Well,
finally figured it
is
out.
it 2.5 years? Yeah, 2.5.
Oh my god, yeah.
Anyway.
Oh.
Dear God.
Okay, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and reconvene in the next 2 weeks. Come back here on what is it, the 27th?
Oh yeah,
That's right.
please let's do something Halloween.
Something
If we
Halloween.
can.
We'll
we
discuss that. We'll
We'll
discuss
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right.
Please.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah. We'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for listening, everybody at home. Thank you for watching, and we'll go ahead. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
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 Bye.